Thank you for joining us. In this particular training video, we're going to cover the absolute basics of accessing Old Florida's flagship payroll application. We call that PlatinumPay. The majority of our clients take advantage of PlatinumPay. It offers a ton of functionality, a ton of power, and like any piece of software, it's important that we start off on the right foot. So I'm going to lead you through just the very basics over the next couple minutes so that you're comfortable accessing the software and getting started. First disclaimer, not a Mac-compliant software. We're not, unfortunately, in the Mac business. The business world is pretty much crafted around PCs, and you need a PC to access our software. I'll get you started on some other utilities, but the very first thing I want you to have printed out in front of you, your client management team is going to give all clients that are on PlatinumPay a login page. I'm going to give you an example of what that might look like. We'll provide this to you. It does give you a roadmap of some of the things that I'm going to show you online, which would be a lot easier just to watch me. But the two critical things on this page to notice is that there's a first set of passwords, username and password, these credentials, and then there's a second set. You'll see me speak to exactly when and why those are used, but this is the big one. This is the one that you'll use every time that you need to access PlatinumPay. This password will change periodically, like all pieces of software for security. If you ever lose that password or forget it, it's a pretty airtight system, and we have a lot of controls on this side, so you need to contact us so we can get it reset for you. But that will be provided to you, and no big deal. So have that in front of you before you get started. The first housekeeping thing I want to lead you through, and it does speak to that on the page, is let's make sure we've we've started off on good footing, and we've got two important patches run. That is the printing patch, and that is the file transfer patch. So we want to visit our support site, which is called PlatinumPay.net. You access this, you'll see some music here in a second that I won't try to talk over. Again, this is the support site. Very quickly, you'll go down to New Printing Agent Download. This blue hyperlink will start the installation of the file. It's very quick. Go ahead and hit Run or Next. That will install a little applet on your computer that helps PlatinumPay see your printer. Secondly, click on this blue hyperlink. That will launch the file transfer agent. Again, a real little tiny piece of software that lets you shuttle files between PlatinumPay and your desktop. Very powerful stuff that you'll learn about later on. Once you've run those two, you are set. There are two perfectly acceptable ways to access PlatinumPay. 90%, I would say, of our clients will simply come to our website, oldfloridapayroll.com. They'll click on the payroll login button. That will prompt a new window, and typically everything looks exactly the way it does on my machine. Occasionally, you might be in an environment where there's security settings on your browser for one reason or another that prevent this login button from illuminating. So as you're watching this video and you're trying this internally, if this looks grayed out, we've got a little bit of an issue. Commonly, you might see a yellow dialog. You probably are familiar with this thing where it says ActiveX cannot be installed or needs to be installed. Go ahead and try to run that. Okay? That is just a piece of software in Internet Explorer that allows, for graphical production and viewing. If that runs successfully, your login button should illuminate and everything is cool. Okay, 90% of the time that's not an issue. Occasionally, and obviously we can't support every client's security settings, nor do we want to go messing around with their browser settings. There's a perfectly acceptable way to get around that. If you're having trouble getting this login button to illuminate, simply go down here to the bottom left to your Windows Start button. You click on that. What we're hunting for here is an application. It's a Windows application that allows you to access the Internet without using a browser. Okay, and it's very powerful, very easy to get to work. It's called Remote Desktop Connection. If it's not on your Start menu, okay, let's just pretend like it's not. I'll unpin this, and I'll show you a very convenient way, the way I like to do it. Go ahead and go down here to All Programs, and you're hunting for Accessories. Okay, once you click on Accessories, a lot of times you'll see Remote Desktop Connection listed someplace. Sometimes it might be buried under Accessories, then under Communications. But once you find it, go ahead and right-click it, and I like to pin it to the Start menu. Okay, that will, again, when I close this, it'll stick it over here on the left side. It makes it very easy for you to access it. So again, click on Remote Desktop Connection. The very first time you do that, if your computer has never clicked on that button, it'll say Computer. Computer simply is where you type in the web address. Okay, www.platinumpay.net. That's the web address for our PlatinumPay software. Go ahead and click on that and hit Connect. Again, this is just another way of accessing the system without using a browser. and you'll come up with our very standard login and password page. Okay? That's the remote desktop connection method. Separately, let's say you can get on conventionally through our website like most clients, but something doesn't look right. Maybe you've got a monitor layout issue. Sometimes it could just be the way that your browser frames the software. A lot of times we've seen success in instances like that of having that client, even though they can get on conventionally, go ahead and try it through remote desktop connection. And a lot of times that will just change it enough that everything lays out perfectly. So keep that in mind. Okay, I'll close this as not to confuse the issue, and we'll pretend like we're a conventional login client. This is where, back to the login password page that you printed out, you're going to take the very first set of credentials. You'll type in your username and then whatever your password is. And click Login. Very common to see that connect button. If you do, go ahead and hit connect. Okay, boom, and that will take us very quickly through, we call out the firewall, but in essence you're taking control of a virtual terminal, and you'll be presented, I'm a little bit ahead of myself, with this open desktop, so to speak. To be able to access the system, we simply now are going to click on the PlatinumPay icon. Okay? This is the first and probably the only time that you're going to be presented with this particular screen. And the second set of credentials is down at the bottom, and this is where you'll put in the location ID, which is going to be 922, whatever your username is, for instance, and your password. I'll go ahead and put some of those credentials in for myself. The reason that you'll probably only deal with this about once is we encourage clients to hit remember user ID, remember password, okay? That way it'll hold on to that, so in future times that you're accessing the system, you'll be able to just double-click on the PlatinumPay payroll icon and simply go in. So let's go ahead and click on the OK button. And after the software launch, we should be looking at a screen very much like this. So you're inside of PlatinumPay. That's about where we're going to wrap up this initial training session, and we'll talk about all the different layers of functionality in later videos. Last item I want to leave you with is as you leave PlatinumPay, again, you're on a web-based application. The cleanest way to get out of that is to, at the very bottom, hit the Start button, hit Log Off. That will quickly exit you from the system and not create any hung sessions. That's about it. Thank you for joining us.